Alright. Let's get things started. Just trying to wait for people to come in, and then we're good. Paste. Alright, wondrous. Good. Oh, that's good. There we go. Don't want no double speak in there. Okay. Alright, hello. Welcome, one and all to Tofinator's live stream. Today we're streaming the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're continuing Kazuma's investigation into his death, which I still don't believe is right. I think he's hiding. I think he's trying to trick us. So, we gotta outsmart him first. But we don't really have any proof of this. It's just something... Hello, kitty cat. It's just something that that I feel pretty strongly at this point. I don't know what it is about it, but Kazuma's death feels like a test. So that's the angle I'm coming at it from. You can have your own opinion. Okay, let's continue. Start playing from this one. Yes, the unbreakable speckled band. Unbreakable? What does that say? All right. So, okay, we're trying to move somewhere, examine, what are we trying to do? Okay. Oh, that's right, A and D do that, don't they? Wait, no. Looking around is like, oh. Okay. There's a Q and E, no? Q is... Okay. I'm trying to relearn this. Sorry, hang on. Give me a second. We can always just do this and this until I can figure it out, but... Look around with M? Okay, M is our shortcut. That's what it was. Okay. Let's try moving around. Miss Pavlova's cabin. Okay. We tried going in there, but we were kicked out, right? So... First class passageway. Let's try that since nobody's there. This passageway adjoining the first class cabins is first... yes. I want that one, please. Click. No? Enter? No? E? No? Oh, no. I can't get in there. What's happened to me? What's happened to my skills? Alright. We can try Miss Pavlova's cabin again, I guess? I guess I'm being watched. Uh-oh. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Ah, what's that? Oh! Uh-oh. Alright. We're... That's the alarm. Shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted a quarter mile... 4? Okay. Full stop. Hard to starboard. All hands. Brace for impact. Uh-oh. What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? I can't stand. Sasato-san, hold on to me. Sasato-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruhata-san. Looks like we avoided a collision. I think... Yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness. What about you, Naruto-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Uh-oh. Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Uh-oh. Inspector Hasanoga. Oh, okay. Cool. Is that you in there, Naruto-san? Unbolt the door, quickly! What? The bolt? Yeah, dude. That. Right there. Look at that. The door's bolted. Did you do that, Susato-san? No, I didn't touch it. Well, that's strange. How did... And look at all the books. They're just like they were before again. So, did the ship crash? Well, wait, hold on. The alarms and everything would have gone off again, right? So, it would have woken up, someone. Unless we were drugged. And okay. I think we were drugged, right? I was drugged, or... Yeah, our meals were drugged. And then, by the way, the books are positioned again. Maybe the first time was we actually crashed into a ship. In which case... Oh, man. Okay. Well, that adds a whole nother layer of things. It's not just this ship anymore. It's not contained to just this ship. If we crashed before, that means somebody either got on or got off one of the ships and onto the other. Somebody escaped or came here to kill. I don't really know. That's a lot of wild speculation on my part, but that's what I'm saying. Naruto-san, are you gonna open the door and let the inspector in? Oh right, I forgot about you. I'd better tidy this place up first. Our violent emergency stop had solved one mystery, at least, in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. He's got that foreboding. Man, we were so close to be continued. Aw. Okay. Well, we shall continue on. Yeah, sure. There's something bad about that. I'm terrible about saving my progress. Okay. We got it, though. Z. 9th of January, SS Bureau, Miss Pavlova's cabin. I should say it right. Pavlova. Somehow, the door to the cabin we were in ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Wait, do they auto-lock? Is that a thing? I bet you they auto-lock. What's going on, Gandalf? Yeah, I am. I'm a super big nerd, and I like it. What you gonna do about it? Nothing, because I'm super big and a nerd. Somehow the door to the cabin we were in ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Susato-san took a deep breath, then gently slid back the bolt. Stroganov says, "You! What are you doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters?" "Ah, you both look unhurt. Good." "Yes, we're fine, thank you. What on earth happened?" "We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship?" "If it's an electric lock. Are you sure about that? Pneumatic tubes and steam and stuff? You don't think that could do an auto lock? Especially with a collision? Or does it need electricity, do you think? From a mechanic's standpoint, what do you think? That'd be interesting to hear your thoughts. Alright, yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. Oh, yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. That's Hasanoga. Okay. Oh, how did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop. What? Everything is chaos. Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming. Crew are running everywhere. Okay. This first class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Ah.
Oh, I see.
Someone triggered the alarm? Does that mean someone pressed that button outside? Yeah, the emergency stop button, sure.
You wicked intruder! Dressed all in black, you are the devil!
Sorry? Me? I've been called lots of things before, but devil is a first. Well, it's possible with tubes and steam, just hard and collision can happen, but I wouldn't consider that auto-locking. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, excuse me. Yeah, they press a button that does an emergency stop on the ship. I assume that button also triggers whatever steam needs to come up through in order to auto-lock. That's how I think it works, but I don't know. Somebody hit the emergency stop here, so a lot of things could happen. I'm not sure. But it's interesting to speculate. So electronic locks might work, but electricity is kind of not in this game's wheelhouse, I think, because we still have gas lamps and everything, so that makes sense. Okay. All right. Anyway.
Take him away. He's a trespasser as well as everything else.
Oh, just you got me for all the crimes, did you? Stowing away, trespassing, killing. She is right. You a devil. It doesn't look good, does it? There is cell below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to police. Wait, a cell?
Please, Inspector Hasanoga. Is there nothing you can do?
This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. The hell is that? Okay. Also depends on the locking system. From the looks, it looks like a deadbolt, so I would assume maybe an air pressure build up to blow lock closed. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. Yeah, sort of a pressure system to move whatever needs to be moved, because it is a deadbolt. It is. But I didn't lock it when I came in Miss Pavlova's cabin, and she didn't lock it when we came into Miss Pavlova's cabin, unless she's like the killer and she's like in on everything, which would actually be a crazy twist. I still don't think Kazuma's actually dead. But if he ends up actually dead, then yeah, we'll move on. I have a theory right now, or I have a hypothesis that he ain't dead. He's just testing us. I think he's the one running around doing all these crazy things. So we'll see.
This is terrible.
This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. Okay. Alright. Yeah, let's examine some stuff, man. I want to know more about that lock. I just need to keep calm and focus on the task at hand, which is investigating.
Don't touch my things!
You know what? The deadbolt is not your thing, lady. Okay? You wanted me to show you where crawfish hibernates?
Hi-ya!
I've been flipped again.
Mr. Naruto, what do you think you're doing?
Wow, everyone's attacking me. And I was just starting to think she was my friend. She has floored me like 3 times now. It's getting old. Isn't there anyone who could help me out of this mess? Isn't there anyone who can help me out of this mess? Miss Pavlova, can I...
Get out!
Listen, I'm sorry we snuck in here without your permission, but...
Get out now!
We just needed to investigate in here. It's no use. She's not going to listen. We need to find someone who will. Well, Hasanoga seems the least angry with me, so let's try him. You've got yourself into a difficult situation here. By entering this cabin uninvited, I mean. Sorry, I I was just so desperate to find a clue and progress the story, and honestly, what the hell?
I'm afraid there's really nothing more I can do to help you. If I push my luck any further, a punch to the face will be the least of my worries.
I'm really sorry.
I have to take responsibility for giving you the freedom to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. Now this has happened, I'll have to report to the captain at once.
I really need some help here. Okay, so he wasn't it. I need a savior to rescue me from this crisis. For flip-flapping sakes? Are you kidding me? What are you doing here? Why are you just hanging out? Literally, you weirdo. What the? What are you doing up there? Mr. Sholmes? Oh, so he can touch her things. That's fine.
Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like in one's head.
On one's head.
Have I not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know what other people do not?
This isn't mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh, no, no. Well, why were you hanging from that hook before then?
Isn't it obvious? To properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles, naturally. I wish to determine if it would bend that conceited-looking hook on the wall, so full of brag and bounce.
If it would bend that conceited-looking hook on the wall. If it would bend that okay. He's trying to determine if the rubles would have bent the hook? You're weird, dude. Alright. Whatever Shones on. I want some. Yeah, no kidding, yeah. I never know whether to take this man seriously or not.
You again.
The great detective.
Ah, Inspector.
I confess I've been looking for you.
I have something to report to you most urgently.
Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time.
What is to report? Speak!
An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing.
Yes. The case of the curious murder that took place last night, here on this vessel, the steamship Bureau, has been solved! By me, naturally.
What? Seriously? Really?
Yes. I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations exist.
I can't wait to hear this.
So, allow me to illuminate all your minds.
God.
For I'm about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case!
I think Sholmes is the killer. I'm starting to kind of suspect that as well. He's a little weird. I don't know that the game would allow him to be that way after he's been so fervently theatrical. But, you know. Few madmen aren't, am I right? Alright.
You have solved it? Even Hedgehog understands this case. We all knew who was responsible for killing student boy this morning when we found criminal in wardrobe. It is this stowaway, and he has handcuffs to prove it.
I didn't do it. The trouble is,
there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because, as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside.
But we just kind of sort of demonstrated how that could be the case after the killer was done. Because I was knocked out and Kazuma was presumably dead. So the only thing is, somebody must have hit the emergency stop. But somebody here is hiding that fact for a reason. So I would guess it's Miss Pavlov that did it while she was still in costume. If she was here that night. I think she was. but that means the culprit must be someone who is inside the cabin.
Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories.
Oh. Okay.
The locked room, that is point. The room was locked.
Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from the outside the cabin. Doesn't have to be.
You are all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not the so-called locked room at all. What?
Susato. It was Sholmes. Sholmes, yeah.
Oh yes, there is another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door.
What other entrance? We never discovered one.
Why, gapes open-mouthed even as we speak.
The ventilator man.
The ventilator?
You think this is funny? I cannot even put my arm through that hole. That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks.
You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening? It's not possible.
Ah, but it is. And last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator.
Mr. Sholmes, do you mean...
Are you referring to the words Kazuma-sama wrote in his diary?
1:23 a.m., I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m., what looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
Precisely, my dear madam. Knows too much. Keep trying to tell you, if you're trying to say like an excess, you need to be using another O in your two. But that's fine, I'll let it go. But I didn't because I called you out! Anyway.
But what does it mean? What is this speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin.
Uh-oh. He's boxing again. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing?
There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I am ready. What I am about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold!
What the? Oh my god. Well, that's a bit concerning. Hello, little speckled band. It was totally the snake. It was totally the snake. Hello, snaky snake.
Allow me to introduce you all to the band. The speckled band.
A snake?
Indubitably.
They're all just silent. Mr. Sholmes, just one thing.
Pray, what troubles you?
Well, that snake isn't really a speckled... It isn't really speckled, is it? It looks more stripy, wouldn't you say?
Yes, you're right. I think in this case you'd have to call it the striped band, wouldn't you? You both see and observe with distinction, however. Do you not think that is precisely the trap into which the culprit wishes you to fall? Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap?
I can't. Alright. How exactly... I think perhaps it is time I explain the intricacies of my train of thought. Yes, please. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova?
I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me.
There are two conclusions I have drawn from the facts. Number one, last night your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin.
Ah!
And number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life!
No.
She turned as white as a bowl of rice again. Sholmes must be right. He's hit the nail on the head. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Asogi? Snakeface! Looks like he can't speak with that snake coiled around his head. I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Uh-oh. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1. Intruder's identity. Conclusion. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. The whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Uh-oh. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of the intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend in which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us, so there are several doubts to his theories, and yet that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band, whereas regrettably, this specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanations can we then give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? Oh, she's looking down at something. No, don't look at me. This has nothing...
No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this.
Oh, but it does. And you have to answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Up. Yes. That which you are trying but failing to conceal can only be the snake's slowed skin. Sloughed? Evidently, after the subtle and horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin. No? I
don't know what you're talking about.
Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin. Then your speckled friend slithered next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to the young gentleman who was about to lose his life as a speckled band. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of snake whose markings change each time it slows its skin. So it sheds. He's trying to say basically sheds. I don't know sloths. I've never. A snake so dreadful we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. A beloved speckled snake. Topic 2. How Mr. Asogi died. Moving on, we came to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime.
Oh no, could there be?
Yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death conclusively. The almost, but not quite, imperceptible puncture wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestiges of the snake bite delivered by your terrifying friend.
This makes no sense.
There is no point feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right, you hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. That seems backwards. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt.
You don't...
It is telling that the victim made note of a low whistling sound that could be heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend.
Train?
Indeed. You'd put the serpent through this ventilator and wait. After a period, you'd summoned it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appeared to not have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Do you deny this snake has undergone such training?
It's not true.
Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature needed only to sink its fangs in once. And its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. Shit. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor young man's life. There can be no doubt. My logic is infallible. Death by a venomous snake's bite. Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of the speckled band. Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There on the floor you will observe the saucer of milk. The promise of food is the key to training any creature. Incredible! You solved the mystery! Amazing! Your great deduction really lives up to its name. I see now why Sherlock Sholmes has become such a household name. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. Wow, that's probably not the saying.
Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes?
But of course, what's on your mind?
It's just about your deductions before. Some things don't quite make sense to me.
I welcome questions as to my method, and will answer both loudly and proudly.
Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family.
Oh, she's breaking out some knowledge on your ass. Okay.
You are well informed, madam.
And reptiles, don't drink milk.
Ah,
It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. So, I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward.
no matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example. The logic holds.
Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears.
Ah,
Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal a snake by whistling.
but madam, what of the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute?
I think perhaps the performers play their music in time with the snake's natural movements.
Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears? These creatures are so inept as to be practically useless.
Don't take it out on snakes, Mr. Holmes. Mr. Sholmes, I guess.
There is one other thing.
You have more?
Snakes use the scales on their bellies to propel themselves. So, I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones used in the cabins.
Then it should try harder.
Please, don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this.
Exonerate the snake, but not me? That's cool. I'm back on the chopping block. Alright. I actually expected Pavlova to step in with that. Like, yeah, what are you, nuts? It's not my snake.
We need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, no, you don't mean...
Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest deductions and turn them into the great ones they ought to be.
I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try.
Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So cast your eyes down at your wrists again.
What? You've done it again!
Your handcuffs are gone!
Where did they go? Fear not, I shall see they're restored after our work is done.
I really wish you'd leave them off.
Now, everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular.
Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes! Intruder's identity, a beloved speckled snake. Okay.
Ms. Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death is nothing to do with me, the whole thing is nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself.
Ah! Wait, well, wait, hold on. Horrid events, you have an aching heart. She does have a pained expression on her face. Yeah, okay, pained, yeah.
Yes, that's true. She looks as though Kazuma-sama's death is weighing heavily on her mind.
but you're not sure Mr. Sholmes has read her quite correctly. Is that it? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression then? Let's take a moment and really look very closely at Miss Pavlova. Okay. Aching heart. Oh, shit. Yeah, claw scratches. She's more concerned with the claw scratches.
Oh, Naruhodo-san, look! That looks like a very painful wound. Looks like a scratch made by some kind of small animal. And fairly recently, too.
Well, whatever scratched her doesn't appear to be around here. Which is why they had to, like, say that the snake had no arms, legs, and other stuff, because we needed to get rid of the idea that... yeah. Okay. Right ear?
She has such petite ears among that beautiful hair, like little pink shells. Oh, what's that? There's something attached to her ear.
Ah, I expect that's what's called an earring. It's a little piece of jewelry. An earring, is it? I couldn't tell who was talking at that moment. Okay. An earring, is it? It really is tiny.
Perhaps part of it is missing. Maybe it broke off?
So now all that's left is the clasp part that attaches to the ear. Okay. If that's the case, she doesn't appear to have noticed that it's broken. Ah! And that's the one we're looking for.
She has such petite
Ears among that beautiful hair like little pink shells. Oh, what's that? There's something dangling down from her ear. Ah,
that's an earring. The crescent moon part looks as though it's made from wood. It's charming, isn't it?
Women do seem to love adornments like that. In their hair, around their necks, on their fingers, even hanging from their ears, it seems.
Well, jewelry is beautiful, Naruhodo-san.
Alright then. Okay. She was hiding something, right? Yeah, there it is. What's this? That's the shedded skin, right? But we can't... I guess we can't see that. That's fine. Let's, I guess, examine her aching heart, I suppose. She really does look troubled.
Yes, it's hard to believe she's putting that expression on to fool us. But if you look closely, it's almost like she's actually staring at something.
At what, do you think?
Perhaps something's physically causing her pain. We should have a closer look.
Well, yeah, it's the hand. Claw scratches. Okay, anything else? Aching heart. Are we supposed to be doing them in a certain order? Okay. So the earring is gone. The scratch was left by some small animal, and she has this in her pocket, but I don't know. I feel like it's this. So what are we gonna do? Do we say that's the important one? How do we do that again? Okay.
Yes!
There we go. Present. Claw scratch. That's what I was looking for. Got it. Yes, when you recall these horrid events, that claw scratch smarts with pain. Indeed, and simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch? Sometime last night.
Ah!
Okay, we're getting to the heart of it.
When I think about the young man who died next door, I felt so sad. I feel so sad. And when I'm sad, the pain from this wound is worse.
And it is in that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of the intruder that stole the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend which boarded this vessel, was it not? Okay. Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend was the writhing serpent we see before us. It seems likely that the scratch mark on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except... snakes don't have claws, do they?
No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet in which claws might grow.
Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? What's the true identity of this friend of hers?
We should follow her gaze, Naruhodo-san. That's where we'll find the answer.
Without a doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. Teapot. Seaman Stroganoff. Okay. Let's examine the teapot, I guess. I have a feeling that it was this teapot that Miss Pavlova's eyes flickered over to before. You think this is the friend she's been talking about? Oh, we're all different, aren't we? No! Whatever we might say about it, that's why if that's the way she feels.
I don't think I'll say anything about it then.
You and the teapot can discuss it instead. Wait, that's not what I meant. Well, let's check under then, right? That's probably either that or it's Stroganoff himself, which would be pretty crazy. Oh, she's got a cat! Hello. Alright.
Ah, look at the photograph in this frame.
Oh, look at the photograph in this frame. Excuse me, that's him. This must be something Miss Pavlova brought with her when she ran away.
She is exceptionally beautiful, isn't she?
Yes, that's true, but personally, if the little black creature she's holding that's caught my... It's the little black creature that she's holding that's caught my eye. There we go. Maybe we'd better take a closer look at this. Yeah, there's a cat there. Yeah. Look at the little cat Miss Pavlova is cuddling here.
Oh, what a cute little kitten.
It could vie with you, couldn't it, Miss... Naruhodo-san? For the blackest outfit? What the... a black kitten. And from the look of this picture, at least, Miss Pavlova seems very attached to it. How about the bell? No? Alright. Little kitten. So I'm gonna go ahead and...
Yes!
Yeah. Little kitten. Sweet. Without doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes, the scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear.
Oh no.
The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? She's gonna deny it. But then we can point back to the saucer bowl on the floor.
Darka is my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind.
Oh, here we go. She's not denying it. Darka would appear to be a Russian blue. A
And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band, whereas regrettably, this specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way.
What explanation can we give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night?
No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this.
But it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. It's the kitten. She's hiding the kitten. Yes, that which you are trying but failing to conceal. Can only be the snake's slowed skin. Slowed skin. Soft? I don't know. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Churros? Welcome to the stream. How you doing?
Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back.
If she just left it in her pocket, no one would ever have known.
Oh yes, toys like that are Mr. Shone's specialty. He's ever so cleverly forced her to reveal something.
I thought deduction was his specialty, or maybe making me believe that was a ploy too.
Anyway, I find it hard to believe that that's the skin of a snake.
In which case, just what is Miss Pavlova hiding behind her back? Okay. Go around. Ah! What's that now? I guess we have to examine the slowed skin. Because I can't get, like, the preciseness on it. So that means we have to, like, examine it, I guess. Well, it is speckled, and it is a band, but... What is it? It seems to be soft and fluffy. A long piece of cloth of some sort. And that looks like a handle at one end. I think it might be a cat's toy. This sort is common in the West, apparently. Oh, okay, alright. How is that a toy for cats? Cats like to chase the band around and paw at it. Oh, okay. She's talking.
Cats like to chase the band around and paw at it. Kittens in particular love that sort of play. You only need to wave it in front of them and they pounce to catch it.
Haha, that sounds positively adorable. Okay, so it's a cat's toy. Right. So what we're gonna do is present the cat's toy.
Yes!
Yes, the thing you are trying but failing to conceal is, a cat's toy. Precisely, and the true nature of the now infamous speckled band.
Ah!
And it was with this toy you dangled through the ventilator. And it was this toy that you... Okay, that you... I don't know. Alright, here we go. You waved it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? My dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. After her feline friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, okay, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite the creature to return. Ah. In summary, the true nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's, of which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a blithesome Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darga. Yeah! A truly troublesome feline, young Darka is proving to be. She must be caged. Once found. Okay, there we go. You will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova. The photograph of Miss Pavlova and Darka has been entered into the court record. Okay.
It was after I gave her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran up the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. Darka, she's so naughty.
A beloved kitten. Solved. How Mr. Asogi died. Oh, okay. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the data of which I've been apprised, it would appear that there were no visible signs of injury. Oh. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom.
What Mr. Shulm says is true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-sama's body.
That's right. But Mr. Shulm seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned.
Yes, it would seem so. Let's give him the information he's missing now.
Oh, okay. Proof that what? Everyone got sick, or... Ah, here we go. A report from the SS Bureau's medical officer giving the cause of death as a cervical spine injury. Yeah. There were no traces of external injury or poison.
Yes!
Post-mortem report. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem report. Ah, yes, I knew it was one or the other. What? It can't be both, dude. Okay. And
his neck was...
Indeed, the breaking of the cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only the Goliath would... Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Seaman Stroganoff isn't some immortal freak, you know. The jury is out. Anyway, we have it on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no.
Oh no, could there be?
Yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove that the cause of what the cause of death was exclusively was. I don't know. It's gone now. Kazuma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something or someone.
Yes, that's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found, though. Presumably, Darka didn't silently creep up behind Kazuma and deal him a fatal blow. Oh, that was me. Ah, shoot. I suppose. It's possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident.
Oh yes, a bad fall could explain it.
It is rather hard to believe of Kazuma-sama, though.
He wasn't a clumsy man. Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened? Yeah, man, a crash, actually. Would... Like, okay, I bet you he was trying to put the cat back and somebody hit the emergency stop. That made everything go whoo, shake, right? And then he fell from wherever he was trying to get up to the ventilator from. He fell from that. It must have hit his neck. I think that's what's going on. An examination of the deceased body will prove the cause of death conclusively. Probably this again, I would imagine. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay. Russian word for wardrobe in purple ink. It would appear to have been written in the victim's final moments. guard was gone. Article about ballerina, article about revolutionary, paper seal, Kazuma's diary. Can hear faint whistling sounds. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna say it was the post-mortem report that damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. The victim's neck was almost certainly broken as a result of a strong blow to the area. No obvious external injuries or traces of poison. If this is true, and it was done like that, then it would actually make sense that Miss Pavlova wrote down wardrobe in Kazuma's place, because this looks like Kazuma's dying like words. But why would he write in Russian? He knows it's a Russian ship, so maybe that's why, but I didn't know if he spoke Russian or not. Okay. Post-mortem report.
Yes!
No! I'm sorry. This is my show, Mr. Naruto. Kindly perform any peculiar experiments on your own stage. Ah, sorry. There goes one life point. Damn it. Health point? I don't know. Okay, an examination of the deceased body. Kazuma died because of a broken neck. He was struck by something or he fell badly and it happened by accident. There's something we found in this cabin that puzzled us. If you remember, a strange mark? Should be among the other evidence we gathered. Okay. Okay. That mark explained what happened. So if they're talking about the mark, then it was probably to do with... Mark on floor. Here we go. Jews. Okay. A piece of small glass object and what looks like a scuff mark made by Kazuma's shoes were found by the victim's body.
Yes!
Mark on floor. For some reason, that just looked to me like a cat's toy from far away. Like, this would be the handle, this would be like a bell or something. So I just didn't think anything of it. Yes, an examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively. This peculiar mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish. Shoe polish. Oh, shoe polish. Indeed, positively identified by the... Oh. Indeed, positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my results. The undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. And the color of the polish is a perfect match to the color of Mr. Asogi's laced leather shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Asogi must have caught his foot at the point on the floor and tripped. Please, no. And by a dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae shattered, and in that instant, he'd lost his life. No! I don't know. I don't know anything about these. Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Asogi lost his life? Yes, the facts... yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now your involuntary glance betrays your hiding place you chose. That's right, you hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama merely tripped over and
now he's no more? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it.
I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that's what happened.
But
And now if this part of Mr. Sholm's deduction is right, Miss Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. Here in this cabin, somewhere in this direction that she just cast her eyes.
where, I wonder?
Let's have a good look around. The answer must be here somewhere. I mean... The tiara? Is she looking at the tiara? Because it's not in here. Oh, waste paper basket. She's hidden that far down there. Look at that.
This is a waste paper basket. Perhaps all first-class cabins have them.
But Miss Pavlova only started occupying this cabin late last night. Presumably there's not much rubbish in there yet. Oh, what's that?
It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I feel like I've seen it somewhere before.
If it looks familiar, perhaps it's more than your mind simply playing tricks on you.
Ugh. If she's got that, that's probably what she's looking at.
Yes!
Yeah! Broke it! That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that waste paper basket. Ah! Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object. It would seem one that has a familiar air, in fact. Precisely. We found another piece of broken glass on the floor in Mr. Asogi's cabin. And as you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly. Ah, looks like a bell.
Oh no.
So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the waste paper basket in your cabin?
Yeah!
You're well acquainted with this glass bell, are you not?
I don't
I don't know, in that hushed Russian accent of yours. Won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question.
What?
Take it away, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, yeah, the evidence linking Miss Pavlova to the little glass bell, that would be... I mean, this, again. Yeah. Like that. I don't know why I'm doing that at all. Just present it.
Yes!
I think, yes, this is the evidence. My dear fellow, that evidence deserves one of Miss Pavlova's trademark's dismissals, I would say. Would you do the honors, young lady?
I don't know.
What the fuck? Hold on.
It's half of the other bell. It puts her at the scene. What do you mean?
Perhaps you would care to propose some other piece of evidence. The fuck? The answer is really quite simple, but then there's nothing more deceptive than an obvious fact. Yeah, it's because you're fucking playing games right now, and I don't appreciate that, so why don't you stop? Fuck if I know, man. I don't know. Oh. It's this. It's literally her... Okay. This is it. This is it. This is the one. Stupid motherfucking...
Yes!
If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from darkest color, the very glass bell in question. The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. And in the case of that fateful stumble... Oh, and the cause of that fatal stumble. Blah. Your absent feline friend, Darka.
I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry.
Death by tripping over a cat. Solved. Deduction complete. Elementary. I think both should have worked, but that's just me. It doesn't matter why the bell belongs to her, it matters where the bell was, in my opinion. Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night.
It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands.
People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments.
She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her.
And that is how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it?
Yes. And I had read the, rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Darko with me.
Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really.
So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, he must be sleeping.
So at that point, you thought it safe to try to lure the kitten back again. By dangling the end of the toy through the ventilator and into the adjoining cabin.
Dark always loves this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return.
So the faint whistling sound Kazuma wrote about in his diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened.
Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then...
Oof.
I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out, and then... Oh, it was such a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent.
Kazuma was... From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely that what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. Okay. The SS Bura is a large vessel, but even she can pinch and roll violently without warning. If Mr. Asogi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet, the combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. But what became of the kitten afterwards?
In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator.
Yet Darka is nowhere to be seen.
I must have forgotten to lock my case. And now she's disappeared again. gracious. That cat is as insufferably restless as I am.
Well, he knows something about himself at least.
When I woke this morning, I heard a young man in the next cabin to mine had died. But I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what happened.
Okay, there we go. That.
I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back.
Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right. Where is it? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it? And where did it come from? Oh, my God. Okay. All right. Oh, it's his snake. All right. What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board this ship? Oh, didn't I say? Snake is my friend. His name is Piroshka. Piroshko. Piroshko? Piroshko. It's really tight on my head. Please stop. What? That snake belongs to you? He escaped from cage when emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him in here. Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on board. Ha! We are at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long without close friend, without someone who understands? Couldn't you find someone a little more human, who understands you better? But my dear burly fellow, a gargantuan venomous snake, surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in. No venom? Piroshko does not have venom. He is harmless, very long but very gentle. He's adorable, like Granny. It's venomless? Yes, now he is hungry, so he's in bad mood. But once I feed him, you will see big smile. And you feed him what? Milk, I suppose? Ha! Like they say... Oh. Like they say they milk chickens? Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Proshko eats mouses. Big, fat, round mouses. Ha ha ha. Ah. Oh, so... Is that what the mousetrap in the passageway out there is for? Of course! How else can I catch my friend's favorite food? Nothing says top of the food chain like the look in their eyes right now. Oh god. It refuses to drink milk. It can't hear a whistle, it can't climb the bell cord, and it's not even venomous. How the deuce did something so inept land a starring role? It is not my fault. I did not make up stories. My Piroshko has nothing to do with this incident. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. An accident. Ah, great.
Miss Pavlova. I understand the difficult situation you've found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the consequences, I cannot forgive you.
But... What are you talking about, Miss Mikatova? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events. An accident.
I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see, that was not the truth. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo?
To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure of it. I just can't quite put my finger on it. I confess, I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh? I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. Ah! They're back on. Not again. When did he do that? Especially as they're on your wrists as a result of my intervention. Well, I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours. Was he not? Yes. Kazuma was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom, even. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, whatever that may be. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. The truth about how you really died. About how that scene in your cabin really came to be. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Excellent.
Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo.
So then, shall we begin? Yes. What we should ponder first is the victim who lost his life in the cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Was this truly an unfortunate accident? Or was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first instance. But we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident. Oh! Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Oh, Hasanoga. Sorry. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident. Really? Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. Uh-oh. The evidence that proves unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident. Ha 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 ha. I think it's this. I think it's the fact that he's writing something when the death should have been instant. So something else must have happened. Okay. I'm going to try to present this. Let's actually save first. Because I've been wrong too many times already. On this one alone. Come on, go back. There you go. Alright, present.
Yes!
The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. Haha! There's no way Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. That script, it's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language, Japanese in this case.
But maybe he was studying Russian. It is a simple language. Here, he could have picked it up very fast.
That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry, what do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. And the reason why is clearly explained in here. Yeah, the autopsy says it was instant death. How could he have written something? Yeah, damage to cervical vertebrae resulting in an instant death. Instant death. Oh! Which means after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything, because he was already dead. That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asogi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there, if what Miss Pavlova told us was true. What? So Sasada-san has noticed it too then. Uh-oh. Putting this message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. In other words... Okay... Okay. Oh man, okay. I've got no idea what they want. None whatsoever. Does chat have a clue? I'll land on something. We got to think about this though. So we have the Russian word for wardrobe in purple ink. Would appear to have been written in the victim's final moments. Is it the purple ink? It doesn't look like his finger. I don't know. It's kind of on the thing, but it's not exactly there. Is there anything else that I'm missing? Big old nose or something? This is kind of creepy. Look at that. His eye. I don't know. Part of this bell shouldn't be there. Well, no, because of the cat. Tripped over the cat, right? So the bell... Okay, the bell should have been there. Just places her cat, not her at the scene. The Russian, though, on the floor, might put her at the scene. Or any one of them, really. It is a Russian ship, after all. Okay. A record kept by the crew assigned to the first cabin area. There are virtually no entries from 2 a.m. until early this morning. Nothing to report, nothing to report. And then after 2, he stops reporting that there's anything at all. So, I think he was off checking for his snake. He got loose, I think. That's what he had said. The tiara. Okay. Those are different earrings. Was the earring found? Over there? No, right? Earring was nowhere in sight. Okay, well that's wrong. Mark on the floor? I don't know. We're gonna try it and see. Save. I've saved now like 14 billion times. Sorry, hang on. We're gonna try the cat toy. I don't know. Mark on the floor. Huh? This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. But that's the glass bell the kitten... but that's the glass bell the kitten had around its neck. We already know all about that. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already have that as a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Unfortunately, there's a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. Oh, what? If that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin? Okay, so it was the bell. I was right. It places... having it in both cabins, that's bad. That's not good. That's bad time. Alright. Yeah. Alright, they're satisfying that, at least in my head. That's great. Huh? Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in that waste paper basket. Blah! Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? It puts you at the scene. Oh no! Both these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Osogi died last night in his cabin, there was someone else in the room. And that same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth, in order to cover up his or her own guilt. Yeah! Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Asogi's... Oh!
You are wasting time. Someone else was there? Ah, of course, we know this. What are you talking about? Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out.
Oh, yes. And the only other person in the cabin when young student died was you.
Yes!
Yes! It's true. I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I could have, or I would have left that message. There we go. Ugh. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message, to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Ah! Forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor, in an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there for the entire time. And then, the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen on the floor, for fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asogi really died. But why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. The single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would barely have cast any light onto the floor there. Little wonder then that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item. You all suspect me, don't you? Seaman Stroganoff.
Nina is a woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on this ship, a member of ship's hand.
A member of ship's band. Band? Hand? Either way.
You do not accuse ship's angel of being criminal.
Ah, so that's it.
You say that when the young student died, Nino was there in his cabin? But that is not possible. I give my tooth.
Well, this is all most interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure?
You are a great detective. You should know. Look truth in eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go into cabin. Not Nina, not anyone. Oh, you want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors? Yet, it's impossible.
Ugh, he's right.
But wait, I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around the door latches so they can open and close them from the outside.
Thread? Are you stupid? Those bulkheads are not barn doors.
Clearly not. These are watertight doors, as one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel with not a gap in sight, no threads or needles or magnets could have been used.
No, of course not.
No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier, so Sato-san, how could you shift it onto me like that? Yeah. So Seaman Stroganoff has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily.
What?
I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind having been used before. I don't believe it. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? A way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside. One way does spring to mind, yes.
Do you really know what Mr. Sholmes means, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, and so should you. Because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have. So, would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Point out the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door bolt across from the outside. Okay. I mean... No? Well, cripes, man. The telling signs, huh? Just gonna point it the... What the hell? Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what they're getting at here. I'm just looking around now, trying to... Oh. Look at the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door bolt across from the outside. We've seen it. Well, I would just point to this. As in, like, we straightened all the books up, then they fell as a result of the crash from the emergency stop. Or from the result of the collision with the other ship. But I don't see anything here that would indicate all of that. Let's save. And then present something else. I don't know. Present literally anything else. I don't know. History, present, court record, opinions. I'm gonna say this.
Yes!
Look at the bookcase there. See how all the books and things on it have toppled over? That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before. Here we go, got it. Okay, this is it. Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Oh! Are you saying that the bolt kind of just, it does what anybody does whenever you make a sudden stop in like a car? You know, you go forward. Did the bolt do that and just come undone? Or come done, excuse me? Oh, that's crazy. It's saying it knocked the bolt. No steam or anything else. Just literal physics. That's incredible. What? Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. I believe, yes, it's what's known as the force of inertia acting on the objects. Yeah, in the inertia, basically everything else trying to come to a stop whenever something moving stops suddenly. Like your relative motion stops with it. It's kind of hard for you to stop along with the car or with anything. So your inertia is felt with its momentum a little bit, and then you pull it back and you're good. But yeah. Simple physics, man. Is there nothing Susato-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book at least? Oh, I see. It's, okay. Well, whatever it's called, it's the same force that pushed over those books on the bookcase. Ugh. Also made something else in the cabin move. The bolt. Yeah. Ah! It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. But then... yeah. Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Inspector Asanoga. Oh, yes! That's it! When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across and locked the door. There we go. Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed. Or the force of inertia. If you want to call it that. Do you mean inertia? Are you trying to say that last night after Mr. Sogi was killed? Someone hit the emergency stop. Oh, yes. Or... shink. There we go. Yeah. The SS Bureau made another emergency stop. Yeah! Now we can get to the heart of the matter. When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over.
Oh yes, I remember that. And I stood them all up again, didn't I?
Then we came into this cabin and we were surprised to see the same thing in here. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like Mr. Asogi's cabin.
Oh my!
Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova?
Are you out of your mind? You say Bureau made emergency stop?
It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room. Oh, it is simple enough. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm. Oh yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there, telling you only to press the button in times of emergency. On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot... Oh, on dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of the buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity.
Wait, it was you?
When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interests of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today. Mr. Sholmes, surely it wasn't you who... As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed, whenever the occasion. He sounds almost proud of himself.
How dare you mess with ship? I report you to captain. You are in much trouble now.
Now, I'm sure that that can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learnt a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin doors slide closed. So, what we must now consider. Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asogi, did this ship make an emergency stop, or did it not?
You're idiots! Biora is a huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop even in the middle of night, there would be chaos everywhere.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea. Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruhodo? Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence promotes the theory that some emergency gripped this vessel last night? Actually, we got the ship's log for that. We don't know what happened after 2 a.m. There could have been an emergency. I'm gonna say that, yeah.
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff, it's your duty to patrol the first-class area of the ship, is that right?
That is correct. Why?
And the ship's log here? This would be where you record the details of your duties?
What are you doing with that? That is mine.
You rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift bureau in the passageway out there. But as responsible passengers, we took it in our care with a mind to return it to you later.
I left it there on purpose. That is where I put it always.
The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances you write the phrase "nothing to report" every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log?
That is... because nothing happened.
But if nothing happened, you would normally write "nothing to report," wouldn't you?
Gulp.
Indeed so. Which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened here aboard the SS Bureau.
Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact.
Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night?
Stop talking rubbish! If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh, why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed? No. Everyone's stomachs hurt. I bet you somehow, some way, the captain maybe... No. That wouldn't make any sense. Why would he want that? That doesn't make sense. So we can't use that. Okay. Well, I thought about it, but I thought better of it.
Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced early, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud.
Wait, our stomach aches could be the result of, like, a drastic change in speed. All of us got seasick last night? That doesn't make sense.
Can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night.
Well, no, that's a good point. Sholm says, "What of the throbbing?" Ah! We are gonna get to it. Cool. Sorry, what do you mean? Yeah, everyone's head was throbbing. That's right. Your head, man. The throbbing of your head since this morning. We've all suffered with it. Ah! Oh, yes. I have a headache, you're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today.
Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavy ever since dawn.
Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected.
He's right, my head's been throbbing today too.
And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. Then the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. So this suggests premeditation. Somebody knew that they were going to be emergency stopping, didn't want anybody to feel it, and drugged everybody. Somehow. And the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. And I bet you anything the sailor, Stroganoff there, knows exactly what's going on. Or what had happened. I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe. And had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Why didn't I wake up when all that was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, you boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yes, sorry. The stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Ah, well, Kazuma looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. Somebody... Alright. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes, in fact. I had all of it. Kazuma wasn't fond of chicken. Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all? That's right, he didn't touch it. Is that relevant? My dear fellow, does that not strike you?
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken?
I do. No! Really, is that true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. Ah. Tampered with by the addition of a sporific designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it. Aha! A sleeping drug? Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug, so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop.
Mr. Naruhodo, of course that's not what Mr. Shulm means. What a far-fetched idea.
Precisely. Lacing every meal of passenger on board with a sporific drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator.
What? Mr. Sholmes?
Well, Seaman? Eh? Yeah. I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. If you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew, and the captain himself, would be hauled over the coals. Oh shit. For aiding and abetting a renegade. Uh-oh.
Please, no more. I will tell everything. I cannot make problems like this for everyone know anymore.
These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe.
Yes. So when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me.
We all agreed to help. Everyone together. She threw away everything. Her fame in the ballet, Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel.
I don't believe it.
You are right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night.
Oh, that's how she got aboard, right? They made an emergency stop to let her on. And then she stowed away in the cabin here. Okay. Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point.
Duh! We cannot make all drug, how you say, dissolve?
Ugh, talk about heavy seasoning.
At midnight, in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board.
Aha.
She was helped by a comrade on shore with small fishing boat.
While all the passengers of the SS Bura slept soundly. Thanks to the almost magical efforts of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So if that's what happened, the only people awake on the ship last night were the crew, people who disliked chicken, and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Kazuma's cabin door. But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case, and there would have been complete chaos. Oh, I wouldn't say so. What? Ah, of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabins, after which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug. Quite. And accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night.
Yes!
The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway. And so, not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of the single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning.
You have talked a long time and said many things. What is point?
The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life that night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night. But
I don't know anything about this. I don't know about any of this. I am just a little girl.
you like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas? But I am sailor, and then sailors don't listen to long, boring stories we do not believe. That's weird. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes. A laudable trait. What? I'm quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes? Do you hear it? The accusatory cry of guilt on the wind. What accusatory cry of guilt? Sorry, you've lost me. I guess that's me. Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement, man. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No. You must hear it with your eyes. For observation is the basis of all deduction. What are you talking about? I believe the time has come. For one final logic and reasoning spectacular. To expose the truth. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. It's game time. So, Mr. Naruhodo, your assistance, if you please. With what exactly, Mr. Sholmes? With observation, my dear fellow, just as I said. Of these two provocateurs. Observation?
If you remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with the scene of Mr. Asogi's death.
What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two was there when it happened. Precisely. You are delightfully quick to grasp my meaning. Alright, I'll see what I can see. So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone else was there last night when Kazuma died. Chunky arms. Oh boy. Sailor's hat. Ah! Are you kidding me?
Yes!
Ink stain. Got him. Seaman Stroganoff, you seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there. Eh? Ah, yes, I don't know where the dirt comes from. So nothing in particular comes to mind about the stain. What are you trying to say? It would appear that the significance of this stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain. It's a very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform.
And I think what made it is clear.
Indeed it is. So, Mr. Naruhodo, present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. Alright then, the evidence that proves that with that stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform really is... Oh, okay. It's an inky stain. Is it the shoe polish, or... We'll try this. I also got to make it quick, because we're running out of time here. I only got about 30 more minutes of the stream I can do, and then I gotta go. Mark on the floor. No! Alright. Loading it back. Here we go. Alright.
Yes!
Crime scene photograph. Aha! Got you. Yes, it's this photograph and the ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform. Ink? A rather unusual color of ink, purple. Ah! Ah, the penny drops, at last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. Ah, okay. And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of exactly the same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way. Which means you must have been present in the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was spilled. Alright, yes. It was me. I did it. Everything. I arranged everything in dead student's cabin to make it look like Wardrobe Man did it. Then I pressed button to make Bureau do emergency stop and bolt cabin door shut. I did everything so no one would suspect our angel.
Biff, please. Beef, please.
Because that's, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Beef Stroganoff, right? So Beef. Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty patrolling passageway. Then our angel came to me. She was white like sheet.
Beef, please. You must help me.
I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw student boy on floor. What happened here?
Please, don't tell anyone. My little one. My little furry friend.
Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told you. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Asogi's cabin. Then he tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell on the floor? Yes, that is right. So after the incident, when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers, only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor. She said she was worried when she heard sound of something crawling on floor. That's when she went to look. No, Angel? The door was not locked. So she opened to look, and you already know what happened after.
There's just one thing, if you wouldn't mind.
What?
When you went to Mr. Asogi's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead? Why?
I already told you. When Nina opened that student's cabin and looked inside,
I was asking Miss Pavlova. Well,
Miss Pavlova? I'm gonna guess that's da and not yet.
Oh. Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark, and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared. I understand, and I believe you.
So is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Kazuma's death at last? Oh, Mr. Sholmes. This photograph? Yes, I took this myself, you know. The cause of death was a broken neck. Therefore, the victim died instantly. In the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten, on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there is one particular area in this photograph that seems to me somewhat unnatural. What do you mean, unnatural? What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, well... If Kazuma tripped and fell, and by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck, which part of this photograph print seems unnatural? Well, this, I would assume, the writing, but... Okay. All right. We already covered this, but yeah, it could be the closed fist, I guess, although it doesn't make sense. I'm gonna say the hand. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yes!
This word in Russian clearly wasn't written by Kazuma, so if you're looking for something unnatural, that's the obvious point. Very true. It is certainly peculiar, but it's not what I meant by unnatural, I'm afraid. That particularly crass detail was orchestrated by the culprit. I mean to identify another point. Oh, I see. Imagine, if you will, losing your footing yourself. In my opinion, if you landed as the victim appears to have done here, it would be most unnatural. Okay.
How thoughtful you are, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you for your gentle guidance.
Well, he hit the back of his neck. Something hit the back of his neck. He fell on the floor. But why wouldn't he be supine instead of facing down? So what? The head maybe?
Yes!
It must be here, surely. Okay. Clearly not. Maybe it was the fist.
Yes!
Alright, if he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then this fist just doesn't seem quite right. Was it really the fist? The exact same thought occurred to me. Okay, here we go. In a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat. Yet here, we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say, as though he were gripping something. What do you mean? Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You did? And what, pray, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow?
Mr. Sholmes, show us, please.
Why, of course, my dear madam. Why, would I keep you in suspense? I think you would. You found the earring. This places her clearly on the scene. Yep. This is what I found.
Oh, a crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle.
Yes, you're right. A crescent moon. It's very pretty, but what does it tell us? It tells us nothing. I'm not so sure. The crescent moon looks... It looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before. Observation, Mr. Naruhodo. That is the key. What? The truth is now tantalizingly close. How did that crescent moon come to be in Kazuma's clenched fist? This is the final clue, the last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, what does this little crescent moon mean? What significance has it? And observe. Find the answer with your own eyes. Okay, well, I'll just straight up tell you. I mean, it's the ear. It's the earring, man.
Yes!
Right ear. Broken! Ha! Miss Pavlova, I noticed that on your ear. Even though you have a metal earring, the decorative part of it seems to be missing. The little link holding it must have broken, I suppose. What? But looking at your other ear, I notice a crescent moon. Ah! I don't believe it. Now, the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly there is another one. Clearly there is only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. Miss Pavlova, Mr. Asogi must have grasped that crescent moon and pulled it from your ear. Perhaps just moments before he fell to the floor. Ah, there was a struggle. So yeah, that does make sense. In other words, last night in Mr. Asogi's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. But then the question is, why did Mr. Asogi do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments? Oh no. Angel. No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth. Last night, what did you do to Kazuma? I guess I don't know. When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Running away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship. And then, when I was at last in this cabin, and I could relax after this horrible long day. Darka, wait! I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy. But nothing worked. Darka would not come back. What are you doing here at this time of night? What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, Kazuma. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. The young man from your country, he was very polite and kind. He helped me to find Darka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again, and I was going to leave the man's cabin... Just a moment. Sorry, but... Oh, yes? I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Ah! Ah, of course. You're Nikolina Pavlova. aren't you? The Russian ballerina.
Huh? No, I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the faraway east know a Russian ballerina?
Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. I forgot to do the voices, it's crazy. But what are you doing on this ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment.
I can't fool him. I have to tell him the truth, and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice.
I see. So you've run away.
Please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone.
Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here.
He's gonna pull that cord. He's going to tell the captain. Why did I think I could trust him? Then it happened. Everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait! I shouted, and then Darka jumped out of my arms and down at the young man's feet. And as he turned around to look at me,
Jeez.
I pushed him.
Oh, that is murder. Uh-oh.
I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me.
And that's when you went to fetch for help? From Seaman Stroganov, who was on duty out in the passageway. I heard Nina cry out and thud on floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at cabin door, shaking like leaf. She looked at me and said, "Help me, Beef. If they find out, I will be, please, I have nowhere to go." So you decided to help. And that's when you arranged things in Kazuma's cabin to make it look like I did it, so that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door. Yes. I went into cabin and I looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. And then I found Stowaway in wardrobe, still sleeping. Right, that's when he found me.
So you worked out a plan to lay the blame on the stowaway.
I closed wardrobe doors and put back strange paper sign. Luckily for me, that's the only reason Sasato-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent. I dragged young man's body to good place and used ink that was spilling to write on floor. I wrote, "Wardrobe," so that person who found him would look inside wardrobe and find stowaway. And tell me, what of the glass bell?
It was by my feet, so I picked it up.
I see.
But it was dark in the cabin. I did not notice the other half.
Then Angel went back into her cabin and I finished job. By pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway? What? Wait, hold on. No, didn't they have to make the emergency stop? To let Nina on board? I thought that was the case. But he pressed it after she was on board. Maybe they stopped without the emergency alert. Then he used the emergency stop again. Jeez. To lock the bolted door, I guess. Well, they stopped. I think only the emergency stop locks the doors. If they just come to a stop, there's not enough inertia to force anything to do anything. Right? So they stopped in Shanghai, but that wasn't when the emergency stop happened, and then she got on board, and then she killed Kazuma, and then he came to cover up everything, and then used the emergency stop to close the bolt door. So it looked like I did it. Okay. Accordingly, the SS Bureau did indeed come to an emergency halt a little after 2 a.m., thus enticing the bolt on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova.
What?
Well, you said you told Kazuma about the fact that you'd run away from your homeland. And it's because you were worried he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right?
Yes.
But even if he had pulled the cord and called for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem? Because of the pet rule. She can't be found with the pet.
It was what we said first that made me scared.
What he said first. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? She knows he knows the police. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine.
He said an inspector was his friend.
Ah, yes, meaning me. Who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard.
I thought that if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before he could pull the cord bell, I...
May I stop you a moment, please, Miss Pavlova? It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Asogi really gonna pull the bell cord? I don't know.
What?
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I can't know for certain. But he was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done it.
No, he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work is not yet done, it seems. There's one more deduction to make. What? Another deduction? Well, they're on opposite sides of the damn room, so I'm going to assume that's the discrepancy. Yes, what action was the victim really about to take at that moment? He's going to go get you. Can we determine whither the young man's gaze was directed? Can we determine whither? Oh, like in where. Okay, got it. The young man's gaze was directed. First, consider the victim's location within this cabin. That's easy. I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in the wardrobe, but still. That cabin had been my home for this entire voyage.
So this is how the cabin looked last night when Miss Pavlova visited
Kazuma-sama? Yes, it's exactly how it was. Are you ready then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. If there's one thing I've learned today, it's that simple gaze can reveal all manner of truths. And not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can't afford to be out by even a little bit when you're following the gaze to where it lands. So when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Kazuma looking at? Me. He was looking at me.
Take that!
Considering everything that had happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however,
Oh, yes. However, what is directly beside the bell cord? The wardrobe. Oh, I thought it was on the other side. The bed. Oh, because of the bed here. But we're in her room, not his. So it's on the opposite side. So they're on the same wall. Okay.
The wardrobe?
And more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping soundly.
Miss Pavlova, please, think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asogi's exact words last night?
Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here.
Another opinion.
Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No, Mr. Asogi intended to consult his close friend on the matter. To see if between them, they might be able to help in some way, no doubt.
Oh, no! Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Asogi was looking at. Things may have ended very differently if you had. Miss Pavlova, I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But unfortunately, the truth is, a man lost his life because of what you did. And that will never change. I hope you'll never forget that. I'm sorry. Really, I'm so sorry. What have I done? And so, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Bureau was finally laid to rest. Heyo! We did it. 9th January, 7:14 p.m., SS Bureau. First class cabin passageway. What will happen to Miss Pavlova now then? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to repatriate her? Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all that out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? So she won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she would be able to. She ran away, so now she's in exile for life. I see. I'm sorry. Seaman Stroganoff? I wanted to help our angel, no matter what. But I didn't think about you. About how you lost a good friend. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. That's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Kazuma's death feels like such a waste, but... well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the consul to arrange your passage back to Japan. Uh-oh. Yes. I did stow away after all. I couldn't really expect any different. So, you should go back to your cabin now. Looks like my study tour to Great Britain is over before it even begun then.
To think that only days ago, Kazuma and I were laughing together about how we'd tear up the streets of London. That seems like a distant memory now. Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? Oh. Susato-san.
Naruhodo-san, I didn't know you had returned.
Oh, well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Hasanoga just told me I should pack, you know, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. Uh-oh.
I still can't believe this happened. I can't believe someone's life can be over, just like that.
Susato-san.
He had such grand ideas for this visit to Great Britain, so many dreams. And now they've been cruelly taken away, just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. But now we know the truth, that it was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruhodo-san. It's just too much.
Yes, I know. I wish there was something I could say.
Inspector.
My duty was to see to Sogi-san safely to Great Britain. But I failed. And caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. I've let everyone down. And I will do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. And I'm free again now, at least. Huh? Oh, gee. Surprise, Mr. Naruhodo! What is the meaning of this? Oh, a trifling matter. Simply that in my head I think I shall always picture you wearing those shackles. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting. Sorry? So I decided to restore them. For old time's sake, shall we say. You're a stowaway, after all. Thinks this is funny? I really gotta go. This sucks. Wait, just end the thing, man. Okay.
Mr. Sholmes. We do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Not at all, not at all. And though it's a little late, may I offer my sincere condolences. The loss of your companion is truly heartrending. Okay. There we go. I hope that you will be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at this next port, in Hong Kong. We have to return to Japan to make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was the stowaway. The terms of his study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be. In light of Mr. Asogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Oh no, I don't care for me, but... Poor Susato-san. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely.
But there's no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer.
Qualifications, you say? Any qualifications obtained in your own country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid.
Oh, but
anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find ourselves another suitable lawyer.
yes.
Miss Sasato,
Yes.
do you think perhaps I might be able to do it?
Ah!
But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, unless... Are you studying law?
No, I'm not, but... I'm sorry. In that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work.
But as I said, there's still more than a month before we reach England's shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, I have a month in which to study, to learn what I to become a lawyer in Great Britain. Okay, there we go.
Good lord. Mr. Naruhodo,
That's ridiculous. Are you seriously suggesting anybody could learn all of that in just 40 days? There's only one way to find out. I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Will you let me try? And if by the time we reach Great Britain I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But why put yourself in such a difficult position? For Kazuma, he said there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen.
he was passionate about that.
Oh, he was passionate about that. I can't let all that passion just come to nothing. And anyway, it's for my own benefit too. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Mrs. Sato?
I think it's a wonderful idea.
Thank you. So what does our bespectacled inspector friend say? Bespectacled inspector friend say? Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable. No, 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 it's madness. Yet fascinating, wouldn't you agree? Fascinating. Duty and rules are the dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest, give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character, no? And you've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. From the early hours in the morning until this very moment now. Despite contending with the passing of his close companion, and despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector. After all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything to make up for all my shortcomings here.
Oh, thank you, Inspector.
If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I need to discuss what to do next and how best to make my report. Goodbye.
Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer.
I would be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant after all.
Thank you.
And, Mr. Naruhodo, I'd like you to take charge of this.
What? Me? Are you sure?
I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. Its name is Karuma. It's a great sword, and it's been in the Asogi clan for generations.
Very well, I accept. I'll treasure it always. So then, Miss Sasato, it seems we've been working together for some time to come yet.
It will be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. We shall fill every spare moment with study.
Yes, that's exactly what I need.
But before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you too.
Goodness, what is it?
Please throw me to the ground. 3 times. What? I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you never would have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start.
I'm not gonna hurt you, but I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. No, seriously, I'm not gonna hurt you.
And no matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior.
Seriously, stop it, you're silly. No. No, you were in shock. You just found out about me being stowed away.
No! I won't let you make excuses for me. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you. Not just once, but 5 times.
The number keeps creeping up, doesn't it?
Please, you must. Just take hold of me and throw me. Do it. Don't even think about it.
No, I don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. It isn't a skill one acquires without considerable training. Hey, what's going on, buddy? She-Nation, welcome to the stream. Mr. X is here.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes.
I observed your throwing technique several times with great interest. I confess I was most impressed.
When did he see that?
I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling.
Oh, well, in a way. It's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of an ancient jiu-jitsu technique. Apparently it's called the Sasato takedown.
It leaves your head swimming, believe me. Oh, I've been doing okay. I really gotta go though. I'm trying to set up my wife's office, and I've got to finish this out because this is wrapping up. But goddamn, the wrap up is so long. So I'm trying to get through it. I'm so sorry, but I've been doing good, man. How you been? How beguiling. How beguiling. There we go. It's him. I am a practitioner of the combative arts myself. I am a somewhat accomplished boxer. There he goes, dancing around again. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to instruct me on the technique of your resting throw. 3, 2, 1. Give me a second here. Perfect. Okay.
Yes, I'd be honored.
Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madam.
Oh, of course.
She's gonna do it to me.
Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo?
Sorry?
Yeah! As you can see, you throw from the abdomen.
Oh yes, arresting indeed! And that is what you term the Sasato takedown, is it?
Actually, no. That was a Sasato squash.
Been alright, just getting through your passage. Oh, the pass. Oh, no! I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, buddy. Well, you're always welcome here and and all that. I gotta catch more of your streams anyway. But I'm sorry to hear that, man. Condolences go out. Absolutely. In my groggy state of consciousness, a scene from an evening recently spent with Cosmos flickered into my mind. Karuma. That's right, it's a prize sword. It's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely.
A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karma guides me. I truly believe that.
Kuruma guides me, I guess. So its name compels its will to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. Yeah. They're in better. Absolutely, they are. Yep, 100%. So is my grandfather, grandma, and other two as well. Yeah. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain, and I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'll appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. No, he's not that evil. I'm just kidding. That important thing you had to do. I still don't know what that was. Probably to become a lawyer. I don't know. He was doing a study tour on law, so... But I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. In Great Britain's capital, London. I should stay around longer, but it's back to work. All right, see you later, man. Thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate you. And we did it. Okay. All right. Thanks everybody so much for watching. Hit the like button. Do all the things. Sub. Do the everything. Okay. I'll see you later. Bye, guys. Oh my God. I gotta get out of here. Okay, we're gonna save the progress, and then I gotta go. Give it everything you can. Comment below. Do all the good stuff for the YouTubes, huh? All right, guys. See you in the next stream. I'll see you later. Bye, guys. It's this one. Yes.